John Brady from the Arts Guild of Alleghany. Welcome, John. It's good to see you.
Well, I need to give you a little history before I ask you for anything. The Arts Guild of Alleghany was formed about 3 or 4 years ago because there were a group of us who felt like the Arts Council was not active enough. So we formed a group, and we have in the last 3 or 4 years been doing projects. We have sponsored workshops, we've sponsored art contests, we have sponsored a variety of things. Our most recent project was we partnered and did the Blue Ridge Reef, which was probably our most successful. That's a little background on the Arts Guild. The Arts Council typically comes to the commissioners to ask for money in your budget to meet the grassroots grant, which the State Arts Council gives out to every county. They did that. They did apply for the money, but then somewhere along the way, they withdrew that application. The State Arts Council then came and met with a group of people here to see if there was any nonprofit group that would be interested in applying for that grant and taking that money and filling it. The grant is for $6,600. It has to be matched with money from somewhere. We did not know about this until we met with, what's her name?
Leanne Wilder.
Leanne Wilder from the State Arts Council, until somewhere in October. The Arts Guild is very interested in securing this money for the county and for doing projects within the county. So we applied, and we're right on the verge. There's one more little, there's always T's to cross and I's to dot. There's one more thing to do before that is finalized, but we've been assured that it will be finalized and that we will get the grant. That leaves us with the dilemma of matching that money. So what we're here for tonight is to ask the commissioners for help in matching that $6,600. Now, we recognize the fact that you have already allocated money to the Arts Council, and that money went to them, and what they do with it is their business. We don't pretend or won't interfere in any way with them. But we have since put ads in the paper about people applying for this money. We have a workshop scheduled for next week, this Thursday, for people to come, and hopefully they will come in with their grant idea. They will sit down with people who will help them go through the process, and theoretically they should leave that meeting knowing that they have X amount of money for a project that they want to do. It will be for a variety of projects. We don't know at this point in time what will be applied for. This money has to be spent by the end of June. We have to be committed to the State Arts Council for what projects we're funding by the end of
Roughly the 1st of February.
Well, in a few weeks. So we're looking hard and heavy for projects. We're hoping that we will get a lot, and that this money will be supervised by, I guess you could call it a sub-board of the Arts Guild. The Arts Guild will not actually be the one to decide what projects are done. In the meantime, we have created a board that will be a grassroots board, and they will take the applications and look at them and decide. They will make the decisions about what grants are made. But like I said, we're here tonight to ask for help in meeting this matching grant. We'd like to ask for $6,600, but we're not crazy. So whatever the board feels like they can do, we would be happy to accept. And we're here to answer questions or.
Have you asked anybody else for any money yet?
No.
All sub-grantors, and I'm Dr. Elaine Moretz. I'm president of the Alleghany Arts and Crafts, and I've written this grant for the Arts Guild. Each sub-grant application or person applying or group applying will be asked to help in matching funds also. And we're hoping that they can step forward. We realize that this year it may be difficult, but the state guidelines require some matching funds so that there's buy-in from each organization.
So the total matching funds are what you're asking for tonight?
That's what I'm asking for.
We have to guarantee that we have that money that matches the grant for the state.
And this is a dollar for dollar grant.
Yes.
Correct.
It's a 50-50, yeah.
So he's asking for $6,600.
That's what I'm asking for. We'll accept whatever we can get.
I'm just curious, are y'all on a timeline? You said something about,
Well, yeah, we have to have this money committed within the next 2 to 3 weeks. And that's not $6,600, that's $13,000. So we'll be committed, and we will get the money from somewheres. So we are on a little bit of a tight budget. Actually, normally, the process for the grassroots grant starts in March. It is approved in July or June, and you get the money probably in September. We did not know anything about this until October, and so we're kind of on uncharted waters as far as what we are doing or not doing. And so we're still learning the process of what T's to cross and what I's to dot and all the things that we have to do. And there's going to be quite a bit of work involved as far as the board is concerned in deciding and also in making sure that everything is done. The State Arts Council requires, or will require, a lot of documentation about what we've done, when we've met, who's on the board, that kind of thing.
I have some questions. Is the Arts Guild a 501c3?
Yes.
Okay. You have a formal board,
We have the Arts Guild, yes.
and I think you're doing a great thing. You're stepping up because you're trying to secure this money that's potentially lost for the county otherwise. So
But if the money is not given to Alleghany County, then it will go to another county.
Yes, sir. So I want to thank you for your leadership and trying to secure this money for us. I want to ask, do you have administration costs in this
There are
$13,000?
no allowances for administration costs.
None.
So all the money will go into the grant.
So your treasurer and everybody, they're volunteers?
They're all volunteers, yes.
Okay. God bless them. So I heard you say the decisions won't be made by your board, it's made by a grassroots board?
It's
Yes.
made by a panel that reviews the grant,
So it's a
actually.
subsidiary of your
Right.
formal board?
The Arts Guild is kind of an umbrella to operate under.
You're still the fiscal agent, so you're
Yes.
still responsible. It
Right.
won't be the responsibility of this grassroots board, right?
The money will actually be handled by the Arts Guild, yes.
Okay.
have you been in touch with the Arts Council as to whether they have any money left that they would be interested in?
We
the Ar-
did invite them to
They
the
were-
meeting.
And they were invited to all the meetings, our meetings are not closed, they're open. And they have been invited, but they have not attended.
What about the town council
We have a meeting with them tomorrow night,
tomorrow night?
yes,
Basically the same request to them.
yes.
In your formality, do you have formal minutes of your meetings, and how often does your board meet?
The Arts Guild,
Yes.
yes.
Also, the sub-panel or the subgroup has been keeping minutes of their meetings too.
The Arts Guild meets once a month from March until October or November. We start again, our main fundraiser is the Blue Ridge Mountain Fair. And we start planning that and doing that in this month.
Okay.
So, there is not Well, the third Wednesday of the month is when we normally would meet.
Okay, thank you. Well,
If, what's your deadline that you have to have a commitment on the money?
The grant is complete and ready to submit. We're just waiting on the DUNS number to come in. And then as soon as that DUNS number is in, the state will be ready to release the funds to the Arts Guild.
We expect it to
So
come in
that
the
should
next.
be within the next 2 weeks.
So, we have a mid-month meeting of the 15th, around the 15th.
20th.
it's the 20th.
And you meet with the town council tomorrow night.
Yes.
I would be willing to make a motion, if it's the board's pleasure. I would like to make a motion to approve half of what you're asking for tonight. And then ask if you could come back on the 20th and tell us if you have attained the other half. So I would like to make a motion to approve $3,300 coming from general fund for this project. $3,300, half of what he's asking for.
It's 5625.
Well, he's asking, that's wrong information.
5625 is what you gave to the Arts Council.
He's asking for 6,600, so I'm making a motion for half that, 3,300.
Not thousand.
I would support a motion for 25%, not 50%. That's up for discussion.
There is a motion on the table. Is there? Okay, now there's a motion and a second, and any further discussion?
I would like to make a comment. In your attaining applicants for this money, I would like to see you stress tourism, such as Easter, do something perhaps, I don't know if you could be allowed to use the rock building, but ice Easter egg cookies or something that would bring in tourists and their children, and then they could just go across the street and do some shopping while they're here. That kind of project. Bring in,
We're trying to encourage as many of the groups in town as possible to apply for the sub-grants, and we're trying to see that the projects are as inclusive as possible to reach as many people in Alleghany County and just promoting the arts within the county.
I mean, are you making that part of your motion?
just a comment, just a request.
Not to nitpick, but I know that there's a lot of programming that goes on at the library.
Right.
Are they involved in this process?
We have contacted them and asked if they would like to apply for any of the grants. We've also contacted the school district to see individuals there and individuals that we know that have been involved in projects in the past.
Could any of this be tied into the farmer's market?
Well, your question, we don't know right now. It's unlimited possibilities, but as far as what people will apply for, we don't know what that's gonna be yet.
You know, it may be something like different groups doing demonstrations during the farmer's market of various arts and crafts, or individuals or groups that may provide some music, bluegrass music or something along those lines. We're just not certain who is going to apply and what those projects will look like. We've looked at a certain portion of the money needs to be allocated for multicultural. So we've looked at Black History Month, and we've looked at some Hispanic artists and art projects, and encouraging those groups to step forward and apply.
And a fundamental challenge is to spend it by June 30th.
Absolutely. To get the matching funds and have it all allocated and spend it by June 30th. And then we will look at the cycle for the 2015-2016 year.
When do you start taking applicants?
Applications can be turned in at any time now. We're going to run a workshop on Thursday to help anyone that may be interested in applying know the rules and regulations, pass out the applications. The applications are available currently at Alleghany Arts and Crafts, and several people have picked them up. And I had 2 people call today wanting to reserve space on attending the workshop Thursday.
And we have advertised in the paper already.
So has there been any turned in?
That I don't know. I haven't personally received any as of yet.
We'd be happy to come back to you and fill you in on what projects were approved or approved. We're gonna have to do this as a state arts council anyhow, so.
Well, and the state, Leanne Wilder from the state has said that she will come and sit in when we go through that grant, that sub-grant approval process, so that those applications are done according to state guidelines, and that everything is above board, accountable, and everyone knows what's going on.
Okay, is there any other questions or discussions? There's a motion on the table to allocate $3,300 toward the Arts Guild of Alleghany, seconded. And I'd ask for a show of hands, all in favor, please raise your hand. That's 3, and all opposed, 2. 3, 2. So thank you.
We thank you.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.